must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Very good morning to you, and thank you again for joining us. This is the People's Court. My name is Miriam Ugutu, and just a few minutes past 11 a.m., about 10 minutes past 11 a.m. here in Nairobi, East African time. I trust that you're keeping well, and today we have a topic on corruption in our counties. I think when devolution came with the new constitution in 2010, Kenyans were quite hopeful of what the devolution was going to do in terms of changing their lives, accessing services, better everything in the counties, and the government basically closer to them, so that things could be done in a way that really directly touched their lives and in a more efficient way. But instead, what we've seen, as much as devolution seems to be working in other areas well, but what seems to have been devolved effectively is corruption. And right now, as we speak, earlier on, when we were looking at the newspapers this morning, on page 6 of the Daily Nation today, I'll just read a story shortly, and then I will introduce my panelists this morning, or maybe I should do that first. We are joined by Douglas Kirimi from Meru County. Douglas, good morning. And we're also joined by, Musa Abdi from Isiolo, and Professor Jared Onyari, and I see Daniel Wesonga is about to join us there. So let me just, I'll just continue with that conversation, but let me just read, a bit of that story here on page 6 of the Daily Nation today. And that was the main headline, Oxygen Scandal. And the main headline on the Daily Nation, and it says, at face value, a decision by several county governments to install oxygen plants to wean themselves off commercial suppliers is a stroke of genius. On the ground, however, things are different. Breakdowns and technological challenges are denying patients the life-saving gas. The story on page 6 and 7 of the Daily Nation, and in here they're saying counties used millions for oxygen plants delivered air. Saturday, April 10th at 3 p.m., an oxygen plant at Nakuru Level 5 hospital breaks down. Panic ripples through the hospital as air stops flowing into the COVID-19 isolation wards. Instead of producing oxygen for 80 cylinders, the plant only managed to produce half of that, leading to a deficit of about 40. 3 patients at the high dependency unit who were on supplementary oxygen die, adding to the growing number of lives getting lost due to lack of the life-saving gas. County Health Executive Gichuki Kariuki termed the deaths unfortunate, saying more lives could have been lost had they not acted swiftly. Today, the ICU facilities in Nakuru remain overwhelmed, even as the rest of the county heads into an acute oxygen crisis. The incident has lifted the lid on the scandal that is Kenya's oxygen supply as it emerges that some counties set up sham oxygen plants in the rush to use COVID-19 millions. In Homa Bay, the county government spent millions of taxpayers' money establishing an oxygen plant. However, the machine located at the county referral hospital with a capacity to produce 80 liters per minute malfunctioned even before it could start its work. Today, health facilities across the country are relying on oxygen brought from BOC Limited. Very wonderful story from our counties there. I'll start with you, Professor Jared Onyari. Douglas Wesonga. Douglas Kirimi, not Douglas Wesonga. Douglas Kirimi.
Thank you, Miriam. For counties to be able to manage the money that were meant to mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic, it is very sad, and also it is very depressing to understand and also realize that these counties also consume this money to residents and others. The corruption that is in our counties has even gone be able to take money that was meant for the poor people, that was meant to be able to work on our health care. In Meru County, for example,
the governor has been accused of mismanagement of COVID-19 funds in Embu County, in almost every county, Miriam. And these are governors who want, when they get sick, like Reito Murungi, they want us to go and stop everything and start fasting and praying for them to get a quick recovery. I want anyone that would want to keep forcing the people of Meru to pray for their governor because he has been sick of COVID-19. This is a governor that has been accused of mismanagement of COVID-19. I'm not wishing anyone bad luck, but these governors and these leaders, Miriam, are wishing the people of Kenya bad luck by mismanagement of the funds that was meant to mitigate the issues around COVID-19 in this country, Miriam. It is very sad. It is also very, 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 very uncomfortable to realize that the leaders that are supposed to be working for our health care, these counties and governors have been able to munch our monies that was meant to be able to help the people of Kenya. Number one, mitigate COVID-19. Number two, protecting the health of our people and also making sure that the people of Kenya don't suffer the scourge of COVID-19, especially these people that were sent money to build oxygen plants. They have stolen everything, Miriam. There's nothing left to steal. They are even now stealing from the poor people. Remember, Miriam, it started with COVID-19 billionaires. They stole from COVID-19 kit. Now they have come out here, Miriam. They have eaten every money that was meant to keep the lives of the poor people, the lives of Kenyans safe. Miriam, for these governors and everyone, I would like the president to take a very stern action against these governors, against these people. He needs to provide political goodwill so that we can be able at least to jail one governor. If Meru County has been able to mismanage COVID-19 funds, instead of withholding money meant for healthcare in Meru, Misheki Motuma, the CEC for health, the governor of Meru, they should be held accountable, Miriam. Accountability is what is lacking in our county government, in our counties, and in this country, Miriam. Because when these people steal our money meant for development, meant for mitigation of COVID-19, these people steal everything that was meant for the poor people, that was meant for our people. But when they get sick, they go to Nairobi hospital, they can go to Dubai, they can go to anywhere. But at the end of the day, Miriam, it is the people that continue suffering under the hands of these gluttonous and selfish leaders who are eating everything that was meant for the health care of our people. So, Miriam, my point is the EACC, the government, the DCI should be able to move with the speed. Government provide goodwill so that we can jail these COVID disease, Miriam. They have stolen oxygen meant for the poor. They have supplied machines that have malfunctioned so that people can continue dying, Miriam. And when they get sick, they want us to hold the prayers, national prayers for them to get well. When they get sick, Miriam, they want the poor people to leave everything they are doing to pray for them. The governor of Meru, you are in the list of the people that have been able to mismanage the monies that was meant for COVID-19. Shame on you. You are sick of COVID-19, but it is a shame that you, Governor of Meru, Kiraito Murungi, you cannot let the people of Meru breathe. They are dying because they cannot be able to access good health care because your people in your government have been able to steal monies. In Turkana, everywhere. In Embu County, Governor Wambora, the chairman of Council of Governors, you should be ashamed of yourself. People have been able, in Kakamega, the former governor, Council of Governors chairman, people are dying today. Poor people, nobody can speak for the poor people. Governors are stealing, their sidekicks in government are stealing. Everyone is stealing, Miriam. People are dying of COVID-19. When governors get sick, they are asking us to pray for them. Miriam, I have no prayers to offer these governors. I have no prayers to offer these ministers of health in counties. The only concern, my going concern is for the government of Kenya to rethink health care in counties because it has created an avenue of punishing the poor and enriching the rich people, Miriam. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. In Vihiga County, the oxygen plant procured from France is not operational due to low electricity supply at the referral hospital in Pale town. Governor Wilbur Otichilo said when a test run of the plant was done, other units such as the dialysis center went off, causing a scare. Dr. Otichilo said Kenya Power has recommended installation of a bigger transformer, and now they're saying you're waiting for a quotation from Kenya Power to install a large transformer that can run all the equipment uninterrupted. I'd like to know, when was this and why has it not yet taken place? And in Migori County, an oxygen plant has been non-operational since its launch in 2019. A spot check at Migori County Referral Hospital revealed that the plant, with a daily production capacity of 1,000 liters, was lying idle. Daniel Wasonga, what is wrong in our counties?
I think, Miriam, as a country, we are innately corrupt people, and the county chiefs actually lead from the front. And what we did with the devolution, the kind of corruption that we used to have at the national level got devolved into the county levels. And that's why when you go to my county, you find that anyone who is building a very posh house, these are people who are working for the county, and these are people who are actually close to the governor. That shows you the extent of looting that happens in our counties. These are the same county chiefs, Miriam, when the pandemic was beginning to spread its tentacles in Kenya. Instead of going to buy materials that will assist the medics to combat the pandemic, things like gloves, things like the sanitizers and all that, they went to buy land for cemeteries and body bags. So that tells you that as a people, we have leaders who have very, very misconstrued priorities that are not for the benefit of Mwananchi. And that is why they raise this sharp disconnect between the problems that are facing the people and what the county governments are doing. You will find out that most counties are actually investing in projects that do not actually assist the common Mwananchi in combating COVID-19. And as it is right now, Miriam, was it that maybe Kenya was to go in the same way as it happened in Brazil, or maybe the US, or the other day in Italy, then we will have a very sad state of affairs, simply because the county government has neglected the most important of the human side, that is the health of the county people. And therefore, we have a very dire situation. You saw the other day in Kisumu, county medics who are going for months without pay. We saw in the other day in Nyamira, and it has been a very similar trend in a number of counties where the county governments have neglected the health sector. And that poses a danger to the people of the county. And remember, the people are the most important investment, the most important resource a county could ever have, because in the people we have, the future in the people we have are the labor force. And therefore, Miriam, I think it has come a time when, as a country, we should stop giving the ghost of corruption a blind eye and face it head on. We should start fighting corruption from the county level going upwards. I submit, Miriam.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, Professor, as the Daily Nation here has rightly put it, counties used millions for oxygen plants, but it's delivering air right now. Like in the case of Migori County, where they built that oxygen plant in 2019, they've not even attempted to see if it can even work, if it's working even. So that is a public wastage there. I don't know, as a Kenyan, I'm not feeling too good about that. Professor Musa.
Thank you, Miriam. And heading directly to the point, Miriam, as far as these issues of county governments are concerned, Miriam, you get this is the result of normalizing corruption and bribery in this country, Miriam. We have an institution in the name of Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, which is not an enzyme to kill corruption in this country, but a catalyst for even an increased corruption activities in this country, Miriam, and even at county levels. Why am I saying this, Miriam? It has been made in a way that Kenyans will only care about billions. When millions are stolen, it has become normal. We've normalized it in a way that, as Wesonga has put it, the phenomenon of corruption has been normalized in this country, and it has even been devolved, Miriam. Remember, before 2010 Constitution came, corruption in this country was centralized in Nairobi, in the headquarters. But now, with the devolution of our structures, Miriam, even corruption have been devolved. So sad, unfortunately. And even sarcastic enough, Miriam, the very same leaders who are purporting to represent issues happening on the ground as far as, putting development and, projects into focus, their credibility, Miriam, and how they have been delivering is really judged. And some questions have been raised, Miriam. Number one, do counties need to have budgetary allocation beyond their revenue collection capacity? The question has been raised, Miriam, on how some counties have been able
to increase recurrent expenditures in payment of their employees, Miriam, vis-a-vis development expenditure. For example, Isiolo County, Miriam, with allocation of 4.5 billion annually, the recurrent expenditure stands at around 58%, Miriam. That will only tell you that development expenditure is 40%, nearly 40%. And let's say that 40%, Miriam, there are some outstanding issues and pending bills whereby the counties have been borrowing money from internal, creditors without much payment on some of the projects going on. So we, simply speaking, Miriam, we are lacking managers. We are lacking people who are credible enough in putting this money into use, Miriam. We have a lot of leaders whose even credibility and sense of judging, their service delivery nationally, Miriam, is in question. Take Kirinyaga County. I don't have any data that she was involved directly in stealing of these funds, Governor Anne Waiguru, but she is responsible. You might not be guilty, but you are responsible because it happened under you. But what happened, Miriam? We've seen some form of, maneuver here and there, whereby even on how these issues of corruption can be judged at a county level being selective, Miriam. Why is it that some governors, like my county governor, Mohamed Abdi Kuti, last week, Miriam, the story was aired in one of the mainstream media stations in this country, Citizen TV, that 9 million were inappropriately given to a procurement bidder who had no background of procuring of masks and these PPEs, and neither even have they been functioning for the past 1 year. 9 million, Miriam, had been wasted simply because an internal CEC who is in the county government decided to open a company so that this money will be narrowed back into the accounts, Miriam. These are the people whom we are handling every time. My county governor the other day was given 357 million Kenya shillings from climate change fund by the Kenyan government in combating locusts, in combating issues of drought, in combating issues of economic resilience of the nomads. The money has disappeared, Miriam. Simply speaking, what we want to ask these leaders, how can we put them at a task, Miriam? How can we put them on toes on how we can define on how they are working? The problem has always been one, Miriam. The county assemblies have failed on their role. The county assemblies are mandated to perform oversight, representation, and legislation, Miriam. The county assemblies have been turned into just a consortium, Miriam, a consortium of passing laws without, critiquing, without judging, without ensuring that, some scrutinies and some vetting are made, Miriam. And so, with all these, Miriam, phenomenon happening, we are left to ask ourselves one question. Revenue allocation, even BBI is going to add more money. But the problem is not even BBI adding more money. The problem is how the money which is even going to be devolved further from 15% to 35% is going to be put in use, Miriam. We need to ask some credibility questions on even Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and the National Assembly have been handling some issues, Miriam. Mike Sonko was corrupt. Mike Sonko mismanaged funds in Nairobi. He met his wrath. He met the music, Miriam. But did the same happen with the likes of Martin Wambora? Did the same happen with the likes of Anne Waiguru, Ken Lusaka, Mohamed Abdi Kuti, Miriam? The answer is no. So I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. Professor, counties were given money to prepare bio-oxygen plants, but what we've seen, even the records, the ones they had before, like in the case of Migori County, which built its oxygen plant in 2019, they've never even tried to see if that facility works. They've never used it, and now we see a shortage of oxygen across the counties as the country continues to battle with the pandemic. Professor?
Miriam, we have been saying that the corruption is really in our country, Miriam. And Miriam, I would say that people get taxpayers' money, public money, they misuse it, and nothing happens to them. People do things out of impunity, Miriam. Miriam, you know as I do, that the COVID-19 Miriam, when it comes to ICU beds, ventilation, oxygen, it is very key. Miriam, you are given money and you don't go and use it for the intended purpose, Miriam. And Miriam, this way sometimes I say our judiciary is rotten. There is no way you can take this Miriam. If they knew that they can be taken somewhere and they can be punished, Miriam, nobody would just go and do that. But very unfortunate, Miriam, and I have said here before, I have never been a fan of mob justice. I always discourage people and want for us to be a civil society is the way to go. But I can see it from far. I can smell it from far. That the government is not going to give us money. You build a hospital for us, you put ICU beds, you put ventilation, Miriam, you put oxygen, and then, Miriam, we don't see you seem to use this money. And I don't want to say, Miriam, I have seen some of the governors, Miriam, wherever they do some of these things, Miriam, what they should know, Miriam, there is a God in heaven. I have seen some of their relatives have been punished. Some of them have died simply because, Miriam, they took what was not rightfully theirs, Miriam. Still, Miriam, if there's something that, and that's why you know I am a strong proponent of BBI, because, Miriam, we want to see that if we have cases like this, they should be investigated, taken to court. 2 years, Miriam, if the governor did not use the money in the intended purposes, Miriam, he goes in. And if he's found innocent, he comes out, Miriam. You cannot imagine, Miriam, that we have got a speaker in the speaker in the Senate, who was a governor, and Miriam, he bought a wheelbarrow at 109,000 shillings, and he was calling it was Kathochenic wheelbarrows, Miriam. And as if nothing has happened, Miriam. This one, Miriam, it depicts what kind of society we are. Our society is rotten. But, Miriam, I can see from far the generation of Douglas, of Musa, and others behind them, Miriam, they are not going to tolerate this. Let us be a civil society, a civil country, which embraces rule of law and good governance, and practice democracy, Miriam. That if you are a public officer, Miriam, you have been given money for unintended purposes, Miriam, go and serve the people you have been given money. But again, it goes on another way around, Miriam. You know, I've been an actor in politics, Miriam. You know that. You interviewed me. You can remember the kind of vision I had for those people, Miriam, and if they could have given me an opportunity, Miriam, do you know where I came? I was just from bottom. I can go and educate for them, and what I can go and oversight, I can register, I can present the Miriam they can do. So sometimes we blame some of these governors, Miriam, they depict a replica of what a society is, Miriam. Mm-hmm. Miriam, now they can be able to suffer the consequences of the kind of leaders they elected because Miriam, they were given 20 shillings, 50 shillings, 100 shillings, Miriam, and perhaps they did not elect a very serious governor who could have gone to serve them. But Miriam, be it as it may, will continue raising our voice. It is wrong in this kind of pandemic, Miriam. You know, sometimes, Miriam, I don't know what happened to our leaders, Miriam, some of these governors, Miriam. You know, the easiest thing they can do was to go and buy land for cement, Miriam, and expecting that people were going to die, Miriam. The best they can do, Miriam, is to go and buy body bags, Miriam, so that we can use it for the bodies, Miriam. Imagine that is what their thinking is, Miriam, where they can make quick money and they just disappear. And nobody was thinking about those kind of oxygen, Miriam. I know there's a governor, Miriam, who went to one of the hospitals, Miriam, and he could not find oxygen, Miriam, or ventilation in that hospital to be flown to Nairobi, Miriam. It was too late, and he went. Mm-hmm. So, Miriam, there are some of the things which they do. They think they are punishing the poor when they are punishing themselves, Miriam. I submit.
All right, very well. And a lot of times, especially when it comes to health and other matters of importance that touches directly to Kenyans' lives, sometimes they assume that is the responsibility of the national government. So President Uhuru Kenyatta and his government, being the head of state, Kenyans a lot of times feel the buck stops with you. But I think it's perhaps times Kenyans also understood that some of these functions were left for the counties, like health, for instance. And when you read this story on page 6 of the Daily Nation, since the advent of devolution in 2013, counties took charge of the procurement of their own oxygen, and with this came trouble. So Kenyans should know counties are responsible for that. And before this was decentralized, the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, KEMSA, sent quality control officers who would ensure that the supply was up to standards. This is not the case in the county procurement tendering processes, a medical official in Taita Taveta County said, adding that the few of them have employed biomedical engineers to vouch for the quality and operations of these oxygen plants. So they're saying when this function was with the national government, actually it was being serviced and it was being checked every now and then and making sure they functioned well and they were up to standards. But right now, since that function of health was devolved to the county governments, things have just gone wrong there.
Yeah, Miriam, before the other panelist comes in, let me just have this to say, Miriam.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Dr. Nyikari
Mm-hmm.
when he was appearing before the committee crying? Did you see that? Mm-hmm. Miriam, the money which goes to the county government, Miriam, who corrects that money? Who corrects that money? Is it not the national government? Mm-hmm. How do you correct money and you give and Miriam, and then you say that now they are very autonomous? No, Miriam, what it comes there. And why the Dr. Nyikari was crying, Miriam, is a matter of policy. Mm-hmm. Then now the national government must be able to supervise Miriam and ensures that the county government, when it comes to health, Miriam, they are doing the right things, Miriam. We cannot correct and say now we have devolved and they do their own things. So this is where there's rats in terms of policy, and which I hope that the committee and the cabinet secretary of health should come, and Miriam, we have registration in that area. Having said that, Miriam, remember how many days and weeks we spent discussing about revenue allocation at the Senate, Miriam, about the formula, Miriam. And I was saying, Miriam, there are some factions which the national government has refused to do what? To relinquish the county government, Miriam. Miriam, I'm a very happy man. Because when the members of the Senate were passing the revenue allocation bill, Miriam, some of those factions, because Miriam, because now that the money has gone there, those factions have gone there. Miriam, when it comes to the matters of health, Miriam. And that's why, Miriam, we have got intergovernment relations, Miriam, where governors and the national government are meeting, Miriam. We have seen in this time of the pandemic, Miriam, you know as I do, we have been even giving the money which is outside the budget. So, Miriam, when it comes to the health of Kenyans, Miriam, the national government cannot run away with. And remember, the President of the Republic of Kenya is sure and gave undertaking that he will protect life and property, Miriam. So health, let us not say that it is for the faction. Okay. Some of those MCS and some of those people in the county government, they don't have the capacity of taking care of the people, and we have to work together as a people. Let us not leave anybody behind when it comes to health matters. Okay. I submit.
Professor, say hi to your colleague over there. I've seen him peeping. Mwambie punchline wamesema hello. Okay. Okay. So Douglas, because a lot of times we can sit here and blame the national government a lot of times, and that is what Kenyans do, because sometimes you don't understand. But the functions that were clearly left for the counties. So a professor there has said, no, when it comes to health, this is something very important to Kenyans. As much as it was left for counties, the national government still has a role to play. What do you say to that?
Miriam, I think on this show several times we have said and advocated for this function to go back to the national government. It seems, Miriam, the national government as a system that is working, that is not working in counties. I don't I don't want to argue that there is no corruption in national government, but their systems seems to be working, Miriam. You know, we are talking about the health of our people. I agree that we agreed in our constitution in 2010 that we shall devolve our functions, our health functions to counties and all that. But there is one of the problems actually that BBI should be looking at, and I think that has been brushed around aside, is the issue of healthcare. When we take it to these counties, we are devolving corruption. We are devolving bad ethics. We are devolving bad behaviors of stealing money meant for the sick. Miriam, even employment of healthcare workers, when it was with the national government, people used to be employed without much ado. But today, in the counties today, for you to be employed as a health worker, you have to cover a lot of money. Some people lose a lot of money in the process, and they will not be employed. When it comes to issues around healthcare of the people of Kenya, it should go back to the national government. The national government program at the Ministry of Health seems to be working for the people of Kenya. But when it has been taken to counties, you devolve these funds to 47 VIPs, and also the other 47 health departments that continue stealing from the people of Kenya and continue defranchising their healthcare and making sure that they are left with nothing, Miriam. When you look at it without bias, you look at it the way these healthcare issues are being handled from national government and the way they are being handled today by the counties in our country. It is something that you cannot be able to celebrate, Miriam. Today, it is Meru County. Tomorrow, it is Turkana County. The next day is another county that is mismanaging all these issues. In the national government, I think they have the expertise, they have the labor, they have the discipline, skill, and everything that it takes to run a proper healthcare in our own country, Miriam. What we are seeing today, this is a bandit economy that we took to the counties. We took devolution to counties, but we devolved healthcare corruption to these people. They don't care about the people. The only thing we can hear now them telling us is pray for my wife, pray for my deputy, they are sick of COVID-19, they have a heart problem, pray for them, they are in India. And the people who are supposed to be treated in these counties, Miriam, do not get what is supposed to be in the counties. The healthcare in the counties is run down, Miriam. Today, in different health departments in the counties today, the only thing they await is the release of funds from the national government. As soon as it is released, it is sent to contractors and all that. And after that, the money is stolen and there is nothing that is left there. Miriam, if you went to public hospitals, county referral hospitals and district hospitals, in the times when it was in the national government, you could access drugs, you could access a bed. Today, a sick person is sharing a bed with two other people or two people. A pregnant woman is sharing a bed with a malaria person. And all that, Miriam, it is run down. People are sleeping on the floors. These people in the counties have run down our healthcare, and it is about the time, Miriam, the people of Kenya decided that this function needs to be taken to the national government. Even if it needs to be slid into the BBI, we need to vote for it to go back to the national government because we are under proper healthcare running very well, Miriam. Like you have read in the newspapers, even these oxygen plants, everything that was hospital, there was a system, there was a skill, there was expertise, and there was also commitment and discipline to be able to make sure it goes to the people of Kenya, and these services are affordable to the people of Kenya. Today, if you get sick, damn you, when you get to a county hospital, you're going to die. That MP from Matungu was not supposed to die. He could not access oxygen in Kakamega. If it was the national government that earned that function, the MP from Matungu today will not be dead. But today, Miriam, we are experiencing a bandit economy that we have devolved in the name of healthcare in the counties. These people are not honest with themselves. When their wives are sick, they can go anywhere. The poor people in counties are suffering because of inept corruption and also incompetence of the county officials. Today, you can even get people who have no background of healthcare reading, especially in Meru County, reading as a minister of health. What do they understand about healthcare? When it is national government, if you don't have the qualification, skill, and the cara to be able to run a particular department, you cannot be hired, Miriam.
Right.
It is not even about creation, job creation, Miriam, because at the end of the day, these are even old people. Retired people come and get employed as ministers. I'm as tired as the poor people of this nation, as a majority in this nation. We are tired with these healthcare issues being handled by the counties, Miriam. If you look, for example, at Turkana, the governor of Turkana is not even concerned about the healthcare of their people. People are dying of hunger when they are taken to hospital. Instead of the nutritionist in the hospitals recommending good foods and all, there is no food. There is no nutritionist in these hospitals. These people are suffering because we took this thing to counties. It needs to go back to the national government so that we can be able to bring sanity in our healthcare. Okay. Otherwise, Miriam, next year I'll be sitting here, you'll be sitting there asking me the same question. And also the next year we'll be sitting and asking the same question and talking about the same bills, same corruption, same issues, and same healthcare that has been run down by corruption in counties. 8 years later, I have nothing to write home about it in the counties.
Okay. All right, but we can't disband devolution. I think there are places that it has worked very well, and Musa will tell you devolution is the best thing that has happened in the county that he's at right now. It's Yolo County, I think. But also, corruption has really been devolved in our counties, and right now, when you look at the number of county bosses, the governors, our county officials that are facing corruption charges in the courts, it's astounding. There, I don't know, Musa. As much as there's a lot of corruption, but devolution is working still.
Yes, Miriam, thank you so much. Devolution, or as they call it in Kiswahili, ugatuzi. Unafanya kazi, Miriam. Ugatuzi, we can say imeleta maendeleo, imeleta ufanisi. Go to West Pokot, Miriam, that very fortunate and very lucky county under Professor Lonyangapuo. Miriam, I've been to Kapenguria. It's a classic example that devolution can work. Anyway, Miriam, introducing such a gigantic, mega government policy and constitutional overhaul, in the name of devolution to replace the local county authorities, Miriam, or the county councils. It must have a problem. Remember, the established TA, the transitional authority under Mr. Mwangi, really helped these guys in transiting, but they had a lot of challenges also, Miriam. Remember, even in terms of governance and in terms of power structures, people thought senatorial position was more powerful. That's why many senatorial candidates, these larger lagoons of Kenyan politicians decided to opt for senatorial, the likes of Kiraitu Murungi. But when they heard that now resources are here, monies are now streaming to the county government, that is the time they decided to change the tact, Miriam. It has worked for my county as far as areas of, public service, areas of improving early childhood education, Miriam, health and agriculture is concerned, because these are, and public works, these are the four which have been devolved under the devolution, Miriam. It is showing promise. It is showing that there is a greener heart behind it. There is a progress, Miriam. We cannot disagree with that. Go to Mandera, the most developed county in northern Kenya under devolution, Miriam. Those guys have fire department. Those guys have everything about that county is just marvelous, Miriam. So we've really moved, a bit ahead, even in as far as devolving issues of jobs and employment opportunities is concerned. Miriam, you remember under the county council, the only areas the councillors can really employ you are in the parks, national reserves, Miriam, in hotels, and even in collection of these parks and, these sales. But now in counties, Miriam, you tend to see CECs, clerks, Miriam, in the county assembly, in the executive of the governor, in these departments, Miriam, being, employed. So it has really brought a lot of, that change and that, diversity in even decentralizing the Kenyan government structure is concerned. But there are a lot of things to do, Miriam. And this should not be also laying with the government. This should be laying with civil society organizations and NGOs, Miriam. Why am I saying this? When I speak of issues of governance, Miriam, NGOs and civil societies play a key role in ensuring that some issues are complemented in one way or another, Miriam. And in this factor, Miriam, we are speaking about how can communities understand their rights at a county level, leave alone the national level? How can communities understand the decisions they are making, Miriam, by electing someone at a county level? This has been very critical in as far as, people are just electing the governors, thinking that governors are the ones who represent them to the national government, failing to understand that the governor is a government himself, Miriam, and there's some amount of money being allocated to his office and to his government, Miriam. These second questions bring me to my third point of accountability and transparency, which underpins one of the key principles of good governance, Miriam. Do we have the county governments and especially the members of county assemblies who are the true watchdog of the roles and the activities of the county government, Miriam? I know it was a bit murky and political, but what was done by the Kirinyaga County Assembly, it's something very promising, Miriam. These guys, they brought in some key allegations and accusations against Anne Waiguru. At least they put that governor on the toes. Do we have that in Kakamega? Do we have that in Isiolo? Do we have that in Mombasa, whereby all the MCAs in the house are ODM, Miriam? And, Joho can just maneuver without, asking anyone, because he's the deputy party leader simultaneously. So the role of county assemblies, Miriam, National Assembly cannot all the time in the name of Senate and National Assembly ask these governors to be impeached or to be summoned. We need to strengthen the legal framework structure of these county assemblies, Miriam. A good number of these county assemblies, even, you saw the challenge when BBI was being submitted by the speakers from the county assemblies. And even the Speaker of the National Assembly, Muturi, said even the format at which the drafting of the bill was made at the county level was not that well enriched or well endowed as far as, structuring is concerned. We need to give them manpower, capacity building. Let them leave aside these benchmarking in the name of, I don't know, going to Israel or going to Mexico. No, let them be given that proper manhunt, Miriam, whereby there are professional staffs at the county assembly who can really help in, drafting and how, even the issues of representation, strengthening these MCAs, understanding their roles can be given. Because what we are seeing, Miriam, governors have really been so over-manuring even in the roles of MCAs. Some governors have become so powerful, Miriam, even they can pass, issues of budget without county assemblies being debating on them, Miriam. MCAs simply are not understanding their roles. And you can't blame EACC sometimes and National Assembly on this. You need to look at even how these county assemblies are effective, Miriam, as far as this is concerned. Mm-hmm. And finally, Miriam, we need to have civic education on how some of these funds are being used. Now, this is a challenge to the public. Miriam, the Office of the Auditor General, after every quarter of an year, they produce reports, and they produce financial reports for every county government on how money has been dispersed, how many have gone to recurrent expenditure, how many have gone to development expenditure. Do we have that dissemination of this information, Miriam, at a lower level? People are not understanding how their monies are being used. People are not understanding how sub-counties are being allocated funds, Miriam, and the Office of the Ward Administrators. When we have a proper flow of information, Miriam, and people being able to understand the way CDF money is being used, everyone knows, they know about CDF, Miriam. They know how CDF is being used because that information has really been spread and it has been really reached to the ground. Mm-hmm. The same should be done to the community level, Miriam. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. Daniel, how would you rate this devolution? Is it working so far, or corruption has successfully been devolved?
Yes, Miriam, just like in the post-colonial periods, our leaders actually emulated what the colonial governors were doing. Mm-hmm. This is the same thing that has happened with the devolution. The kind of looting that was happening at the national level was devolved in the county levels. And of course, we can't speak about the corruption and also maybe fail to negate the fact that we have counties where devolution has been a success, and especially for the counties which were deemed marginalized, like where Musa comes from. These counties will never have seen the kind of facilities that are being rolled out there if it was not for devolution. So therefore, the few bad apples in our devolved system should not make us maybe think that devolution has failed. In fact, devolution has made sure that so much resources are devolved to the grassroots levels where people are able to benefit from the money which is allocated to the counties. So the question here, Miriam, is, or rather the hurdle is, how to tackle the issue of corruption. I think, as it were envisaged in the BBI, that we need a speedy and a very efficient prosecution of corruption in the county levels, in the national government. That will be the only way to combat corruption in our counties. I can tell you for a fact, Miriam, if we are able to do away with the corruption in our counties, then Kenya will be a very fast-growing economy due to devolution. But because we still have the red tapes that are set there by devolution, by corruption, still we shall see a very stagnant system where a lot of money, public money, which is supposed to be pumped into resources, into development projects rather, being taken by private individuals. So to me, I think the devolution is good. It was quite a brainer to have devolved functions to send to the counties, having the structure itself. But we need to equally also tackle the ghost of corruption. So not until we tackle corruption, devolution will always encounter obstacles along its way. Let us go the China way, where if you are found to be a corrupt governor, you are hanged. There's no case about it. If you are a public official, it does not matter which party you're coming from. I think if you can put such bizarre and dire punitive measures on people who are engaged in corruption, perhaps we shall see the light at the end of the tunnel. But as it is right now, the governors are small demigods at the county levels, and they are equally stealing. When you hear theft happening at the national level, at county level, it's also happening at a bigger scale. And actually, the governors are micromanaging this kind of public theft. Miriam, I submit.
Okay, thank you. And as we conclude, we know that some of the proposals that have been included in the BBI would touch on development, especially increasing the monies that will be going to the counties by 35%. Now, seeing the amount of wastage and looting and corruption that has been going on in our devolved government, I don't know, what are we likely to see when our counties see an increase there in the monies, Professor?
Once we go through with our PPI and then we increase the revenue from 15% to 35%, Miriam. And in PPI, Miriam, we have said that how we are going to deal with corruption, Miriam. We have even said that, Miriam, we find you for having rooted the money which belongs to the people of Kenya, Miriam. You know what the proposal says is going to be done. So, Miriam, what we need to do here, we will only ask Kenyan to be vigilant. And Daniel is saying that we should go the China ways, Miriam. You know, Miriam, as I do, we don't register. You know that? As much as we mean well. But the citizen, Miriam, should be able to come forward and protect the money which comes to their county. Miriam, you know, the Constitution allows them, Miriam, to participate in the budget making, Miriam. They should be able to know the money which has been allocated for this, Miriam, so that they have the oversight role. So what is only going to save the money which belongs to the people of Kenya, Miriam, is for the people to elect good leaders, for the people to be vigilant, Miriam, and once they elect good leaders, Miriam, who have got the interest of the system at heart, Miriam, is when we are going to achieve this. And I want to concur with Daniel that everybody is stealing money at their own layer. Members of parliament, you know, they have got their National Constituency Development Fund, which in any event, Miriam, they invest on. And you normally see even the day they are disputing those checks, Miriam, he moves as if this money is moving money from his pocket. So what I'm trying to do is to have the citizens who are elected, Miriam, to know that the money which comes to the Constituency Development Fund is their money. Money which comes to the county is their money. Money which is going to come to their village, Miriam, they should be able to demand and see we allocated money for this road, for this stream, for building this school, as the school be done. Miriam, let us not even be talking about, see like the case of Kimwarhela and Arora down, Miriam, which I keep on using, Miriam, which the deputy president was only telling us it is only 7 billion not 21 billion, as if 7 billion, which belongs to the people of Kenya, is supposed to be stolen, Miriam. Those people must be able to pressurize the government, Miriam. You promised us that you will build for us the dam. Where is that kind of dam? So it is in terms of oversight, Miriam, the people who can oversight, it is you and I, and this is exactly what we are trying to do. We are trying to enlighten Kenyans that they are supposed to protect the money which comes to their own their county. Yes. Otherwise, if they don't do some of the recommendations we are giving here around, Miriam, the 35% is also going to be embezzled, and we are going to lack oxygen in the hospitals, ventilators in the hospitals, Miriam, and we are not going to realize development. I submit. Thank you,
Professor. And 1 year later, we still don't have enough of these very important things in our counties, and they've had a whole year to prepare. So it's interesting there that we don't even have oxygen, enough oxygen, and all these things that they knew and they were told. And we've had a whole year. I don't know what's the excuse there. Douglas Kirimi.
Miriam, what we are suffering from this country is a corruption paralysis. We want to keep sanitizing corruption and all that, but at the end of the day, my going concern is this: until when shall we continue protecting these corrupt leaders? Until when shall we continue taking advantage of every situation and make sure that we have made something out of it? I understand that the governor makes about $1 million bob as a salary every month. What is this gluttony that our leaders will appoint people, chief health officers, and also ministers of health, and continue stealing? If it is a money meant for construction of an oxygen plant, they will go for that money. If today the governor of Tharaka Nithi was taken to court, an incinerator cost about 3 to 4 million. The governor inflated that price to about 34 million shillings and ate that money with his family. And this is a governor who was a millionaire before he became governor. So in this country, Miriam, we have this issue of corruption. Corruption now has become a tool for breakthrough. When you steal, it is said that now you have made it in life. We need to be able to stop that and start caring about this country and start developing our country. Without that, Professor Jared Onyari has been able to mention the people of Kimore. Today is a rainy season. Many years later, the people of Arod and Kimore have not received their dams. Their monies have been munched and eaten by a cartel of people, led by none other than the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. These governors are taking cues from that. The people of Samburu are suffering under Governor Kasaine. The people of Turkana are suffering under Nanok, who wants to run for president. The people of West Pokot are suffering everywhere, in Meru, in Tharaka Nithi, in Embu. So Miriam, when these issues of oxygen, they have procured machines or facilities that are not working, they have no expertise to run this. There was also the risk, the medical equipment risk that was sent to counties. Some counties sabotage the whole process, saying that they have no expertise. If you have no expertise, Miriam, you train for expertise, or you hire expertise to be able to run the program. They keep paying their own, but they don't want those things to function so that the people cannot get help. So Miriam, I have no kind words for these thieves who continue stealing, who continue plundering our counties. And Miriam, my suggestion was we don't need to disband devolution completely. What we need to do is to take devolution back to national government until such a time when counties can be able to run an experiment and see. For 8 or 9 years today, we have seen this thing is not working. It is enriching these people. And Miriam, I can call for the arrest today. They will be arrested tomorrow. The next day, they will be out on a 15 million bill. Miriam, we have sanitized corruption in this country. We have put it in our system. We have devolved corruption into counties. We have made governors billionaires. We have made their wives billionaires and even their girlfriends, Miriam. So in these issues, when it comes to the welfare of the people, health care of the nation should not be placed in the hands of economic bandits and the corrupt governors who continue stealing from the people of Kenya with reckless abandon, Miriam. For us to be able to move forward as a nation, for us to be able to move forward as counties, we need to be able to work on systems that can be able to work and also deliver better services to the people. Not an opportunity to steal, not an opportunity to be able to buy previous machines that cannot work, oxygen plants that cannot deliver oxygen to the people of Kenya. And Miriam, as I submit my point, what we have today is devolution that has been devolved to economic bandits in counties, people who don't care about the people. But when they get sick, they are the first to tell us, send your prayers, send your wishes and thoughts to our governor is sick. I have no wishes, I have no prayers to send to these governors, especially my own governors in Meru. My Governor Kiraito Murunge, I have no prayers for you. I have no goodwill for you. You have eaten COVID-19 funds. The people of Meru are suffering. Governor Kiraito, I have no prayers for you, brother. May God bless you as you keep fighting for your own health, because it is sad when people in Meru continue dying. Poor people are dying in Meru. And you, Governor, you live in Karen. You have your own ICU in your own house. If you have an access to Nairobi Hospital, what will the people in Meru do who you are telling us to pray for you? I have no prayers for you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm afraid Musa and Daniel might not get an opportunity to give the final words because we're having a very down time with our internet here. So we thank you so much. I apologize, but we shall be back here later on, if not then tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. This has been People's Court, and we've been looking at corruption in the counties there. Thank you, Professor Jared Onyari, Douglas Kirimi, Musa Abdi, and Daniel Vesonga. Hopefully we can continue with this conversation when our internet stabilizes. I'm Miriam Ogutu. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.